Yes, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 420 News. This is playing in the background somewhere. Give me a second. Jesus, had to get rid of that. It's a good job the desktop audio isn't on, otherwise it would be echoing. But yeah, here we are for episode 2 of the Cannabis News, the 420 News specifically. It's 420 here in the UK, which means it's 420 somewhere. So light up, spark up, eat edibles, do whatever you have to do. Drink your cannabis beverages if you have one of those. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Is Seth Rogen, that guy who's on the TV a lot, speaks out about cannabis beverages. That's the title there. And there's been some changes going on when it comes to legalization of cannabis and cannabis drinks in the USA regarding this whole government shutdown thing. But we'll get into more detail in just a little second. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. If you're new to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. That helps the algorithms pick us up more, send us out to more people. So that would be appreciated. So yeah, do that, share, like, all that stuff. But let's get straight into the news, I think. Yeah, I should tell you who I am, just in case you don't know. Yeah, I'm Macky, the host of High and Homegrown Cannabis Podcast that does live streams every Sunday over on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/High and Homegrown. So join us for a live stream sometimes. We also have Cannabis News that goes out every Monday on all of the podcasting networks, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, iTunes, all of them. So if you listen to podcasts and you want to hear more cannabis news, then listen to that episode every Monday. So yes, download yesterday's episode right now. All right, let's get stuck in on this news article, shall we? I don't know what to think about Seth Rogen. I mean, he's a cannabis user, cannabis advocate, so I kind of like him in that aspect, but I don't know. He just kind of rubs me up the wrong way. Calm down, Billy. There's just something about this guy that I don't like very much. Anyway, let's read the article. Seth Rogen, this is from Marijuana Moment, by the way. Seth Rogen says push to ban hemp-THC drinks shows someone is very threatened by the expanding market. Of course, the alcohol industry is potentially very threatened by it, because when we see places legalize cannabis, then we see people have a huge reduction in alcohol use, which is good. Look at all these people in the chat. Yeah, same as me. Macky says Smee, and then Billy says Seth is a knobhead, in my opinion. You got Old Man saying he's a nugget. I am glad I am not the only one who thinks this guy is a little bit of a tool. Thank you for the moral encouragement there, everybody. I appreciate you. But yeah, there is something off with this guy, don't you think? But anyway, let me read on. Actor and cannabis icon Seth Rogen says the push to restrict or ban sales of THC beverages amid their rise in popularity shows that, clearly, this is in quotes, clearly someone is very threatened by them, but he expects the hemp drink market to prevail in response to consumer demand. Rogen, who owns cannabis brand Houseplant, launched a line of infused beverages last year, spoke about cannabis culture and policy issues in an interview with Bon Appetit that was published on Wednesday. Asked for his thoughts about the future of the marijuana industry, the comedian said he thinks THC drinks, in quotes again here, are very clearly a hot area of discussion, and you see clearly someone is very threatened by them because a lot of states have had a lot of lobbying and pressure to not sell them. I don't know if this is completely accurate. There's where cannabis has been legalized for recreational use, I think there's no problems with it, but it's those states that are still kind of in the grey area where they've legalized industrial hemp, and in the Farm Bill in 2018 when that was done, and then there was loads of dodgy THC loopholes. So the THC they're using is not real THC, if you know what I mean. There's synthetic versions out there that get used, and it's all chemically altered in some way. So it's not necessarily the THC that they don't want. It's these dodgy cannabinoids that haven't really been tested very much. I think that's where the caution is. I might be wrong. I'm just assuming here. I would think that's the case. Because from what I've seen, like in Canada, we have Margaret on the show on Sundays doing the news with us. And she's in Canada, and she has a cannabis beverage pretty much every week. So it depends where you are, I think. I don't think it's just flat out they just don't like this stuff. I think there's some more nuanced reasoning behind it. But anyway, when asked for his thoughts on that, who cares? Who gives a shit what Seth Rogen thinks? Just saying. To the point, federal records show that the last 3 months have seen a surge in congressional lobbying from major alcohol companies and associations aiming to influence federal hemp laws, with a focus on THC beverages that many consumers are turning to as beer and liquor alternatives. Rogan said THC drinks are, and here is the quotation marks again, a really good entry level weed product for people who are afraid of cannabis. And I agree with him. I think these drinks, it's a great way for people to consume cannabis. Some people, they don't want to smoke and they don't want to vape. Some people don't do that, but a lot of adults do consume alcohol. They're okay at drinking their vices. You know what I mean? So if you could drink the cannabis in the same way as you would alcohol, then you don't have to smoke it, for one. But we have that kind of drinking culture, especially here in the West, because we're so used to having alcohol recreationally. So when you go out and spend time with your friends, having a drink is a normal thing. So instead of having an alcohol beverage when you're out with your friends, you can have a THC beverage when you're out with your friends, and it doesn't clash with the the societal norms that we usually have, in my opinion. So I think it's a good thing. I think more people should be having these THC drinks, and it is right that people who don't use cannabis are more likely to get involved with cannabis through drinking. So drinking is gateway drug, right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people drink alcohol. A lot of people are looking for some sort of release, and I actually think weed is probably a very good choice for a lot of people who do not think it is a good choice for them. He said, "It's all about finding the right way to consume." Indeed, I agree again with Seth Rogen. That's two. Tick the boxes. He also pushed back against state-level efforts to restrict cannabis products. The idea that shouldn't be allowed to happen in every state is really patronizing to people. It's treating people like they're idiots, Rogan said. We're not stupid. We know what this does. We know it's more dangerous than alcohol. Indeed. Again, that's three agreeing with Seth Rogen here. You tick it off on the bingo box if you have one. The idea that it's the idea that it's getting into some restaurants and bars and sports arenas, to me, is really exciting. I've always said, until it's as easy to buy weed as alcohol, there is a major gap in logic at play, he added. If you sell beer, there's no reason not to sell THC beverages, and some places have actually started to do that. That is really encouraging and exciting, and suggests it's a cultural shift that is tremendous. And again, very true. Lots of different places are selling these THC beverages where they're legal, of course. Last week, I had a CBD beverage here in the UK, and of course, that's not THC. But it's cannabis related, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. So I would definitely drink that again. And if I could get my hands on a THC beverage in the UK, I would definitely try it, and I would probably enjoy it. And the thing here with the alcohol industries lobbying against this stuff, I would think that they're more likely to get involved with this stuff. They want to try and get into this market, because it's clear that this is the future of cannabis use, in my opinion, is it turning into a beverage form. And if the alcohol industry already have that kind of network to distribute liquid alcohol beverages, then they can easily get into the cannabis market as well. And to squash it is definitely the wrong direction for them to grow. They need to encourage it and get involved in that market, in my opinion. Anyway, I'll carry on reading a little bit more of this article here. Beyond restaurants and sporting venues, cannabis beverages are also making their way onto shelves at commercial retailers, including Target, which recently soft-launched a pilot program to sell THC-infused drinks for adults at set locations through Minnesota. A recent poll found that marketing decision to be popular among a majority of cannabis consumers. Separately, a subsidiary of a multi-state marijuana company is suing DoorDash, Total Wine, and several other businesses for allegedly violating Virginia hemp laws by marketing cannabis products that exceed the legal THC limit. Wow, snitches. In the interview with Bon Appetit, Rogan also commented on shifting public perceptions of cannabis and his whole role in dissolving stigmas associated with marijuana use throughout his acting and comedy. There you go, a bit narcissistic there. It's all because of me. It's me, Seth Rogen, I have done this. Fuck off, man. Nobody even knows who the fuck you are, bro. Get a grip. Get a grip. People like Tommy Chong have been changing the reputation of cannabis for half a fucking century. That's where we should be pointing our thanks towards. People who have actually done shit. Not you, bro. Just saying. Just saying. He recounted how retired late night host David Letterman once told him that no one talks about this, and even marijuana legend Woody Harrelson, who's another big advocate of cannabis, was very coy about it and wouldn't directly say he smoked weed all the time. Now he does, and now he has a dispensary, but at the time, it was not a thing that actors in mainstream movies did. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? It's because these people didn't make it their whole character. That's all, Seth Rogen. That's all. They could actually act and do things. They weren't a novelty weed act like you are, bro. Just saying. Just saying. Not going to go on a long grey. He's probably a nice guy, really. I'm just being a bit of a dick. He's probably all right, isn't he? But seriously, I think he thinks a bit too much of himself there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fucking hell, man. Anyway, yeah, so Woody Harrelson is only famous because of Seth Rogen, according to him. But sorry, I'm doing it again. I'm going back to the article. Here we go. The actor also said that cannabis culture has evolved in large part over the years because people have started to see the reasons that weed was illegal in the first place were highly dubious. Here's quotes again. They started to question why weed would be so hard to access when alcohol is so easy. It seems like a new lie kind of prevails every now and then from whomever wants weed to remain illegal, he said. First it'll just make you go fucking crazy, and then it will make you lazy, and then it's a gateway drug, and slowly people's own experience tells them that they can be lazy and crazy and become a drug addict without ever trying weed. And you can smoke weed and never have any of those things happen to you. People saw with their own eyes, and slowly the stigmas started to go away. Beyond his contributions to cannabis culture and the industry, Rogan has also leveraged his celebrity to advocate for reform, including in 2021, when he and other influencers like comedian Sarah Silverman, don't get me started on her, launched a campaign meant to encourage US voters to reach out to their senators and demand action on legalization to federally legalize cannabis. Earlier this year, the actor also disclosed the one place he refuses to use cannabis, Singapore, which maintains some of the strictest anti-drug laws in the world. But you can go over there and save the day, Seth Rogen. Sorry. Yeah, that's the article from Marijuana Moment there. So, I don't know, just a little bit bitter about Seth Rogen. I think he thinks too highly of himself. He's very arrogant, but, you know, he's a cannabis consumer, and he is trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? He is trying to change people's minds when it comes to cannabis. And, I don't know, he's definitely he's got a brand for it. So when cannabis is fully legalized, he's gonna make a lot of money off of it as well. You know, there's gonna be a shitload of money coming his way when it's fully legalized. But damn, I just think cannabis drinks are the future. The more people who can get involved and get it pushed out there, the better. And I think these alcohol companies that are lobbying against it are making a big mistake. You know, they need to start pushing this stuff, because this is the way it's going to go, unless we're going to go backwards. More and more places are legalizing, you know, and as more and more places legalize, more and more places are going to be offering people cannabis beverages, and this will be one of the most popular ways to be consuming cannabis, as far as I'm concerned, in the future, over the next 10, 20 years, as we legalize in more places. But it's good shit. I think it's all good. But as I said, Seth Rogen, I'm not too keen on that guy, but he seems to be doing the right things. What do you all think in the chat? I don't want to rant too much about the guy, because, you know, I don't know him personally. Who really does? You know, he's probably a nice guy doing the good things. I just think he's a bit narcissistic. But I suppose that's what you have to be an actor, right? Yeah, he actually knows triads, no doubt. Yeah, I'm sure many people do. I would just ignore him. Citizens welcome hating on someone who you don't know enough to cast an opinion. And yep, that's what people do. Sensing jealousy here. Well, I wouldn't say jealousy, mate. I wouldn't say jealousy. Of course, I would like to be a rich, successful actor like him, but I wouldn't say I was jealous of him. I'm pretty happy and comfortable with the life I have. I'm not jealous. I'm just saying, you can criticize people, you know, Wolfie Smith. It's okay to do that. Yeah. You are president of his fan club? Oh, my God. So in the other way, then, you're sensing jealousy here. What is your excuse? You're not jealous of him? You just want to taste his ballsack? Jesus. I'm just joking. You know, fucking. I hope you're laughing at that and not too offended. I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm just making jokes. But that's cool. Be a member of his fan club. Maybe share the link so other people can get involved as well. You know, I'm not saying don't follow this guy or anything like that. I know I sound like I'm hating on him, but I'm not. He's probably a cool guy, and I enjoy the movies he's in. I don't know, just he seems a little bit. I love his ball sweat. Yeah, maybe I would like him more if I tasted his ball sweat as well. Oh, this is refreshing. A cannabis beverage from the ball sack of Seth Rogen. Delicious. Savage, savage. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I don't mean to sound like I'm hating everybody. You know, I'm only having a laugh. I'm just playing. As I said, I don't know this guy, and it looks like he does good things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat, everybody. Would you try one of these tasty cannabis beverages if you had the opportunity? If you could, would you quit smoking cannabis and just move on to the beverages if you got the same effects from it? Be interesting to find out. But I always, you know, when I smoked a lot of weed, and I used to have these discussions with my friend on why weed is better than alcohol. One of the reasons why weed is better than alcohol is you don't have to go to the fucking toilet all the time. You know, when you've drank fucking 3 or 4 pints, you just constantly got to go for a piss when you're out with your friends. Well, when you're smoking, you don't need to constantly go for a piss when you're out with your friends. You know what I mean? So, but this will change if we all move over to cannabis drinks rather than smoking it. And we're going to be going to the toilet again all the time. And plus the sugar intake from those kind of drinks as well. There's other things to be taken into consideration. Yeah. Yeah. I do sound like a hater. I don't mean to. Sorry. Yeah. But yes, you are right. It's the only way to normalize weed in the place. It's just one of many ways, I think. It's one of many ways which we can move forward and get more people. Because some people are just not going to smoke cannabis. They won't even vaporize it. They've never smoked anything throughout their whole life. So it's unlikely that they're going to start getting onto cannabis, you know. And then the edibles are scary. And they can be very strong and dosage can be very off. But if we have cannabis beverages, it's going to be a lot more settled. You know, like a 4% beer, you're going to have a 4% THC beverage. So a lot more, you know, you can balance it out a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a good step. I think it's a good direction to head in. And it will change things in the future. Yeah. But saying that smoking has been evolved into rituals and that as well. Good point. You know, but I think that kind of thing, you know, how much cannabis is part of a smoking culture. I think that's like just from the way it used to be, but things are evolving. You know, for us old school guys who only ever smoked cannabis, that's the way it is for now. But yeah, things will change in the future. And smoking isn't as sociable as it used to be. You know, you used to be able to smoke indoors and shit like that. But you can't do that nowadays, so that becomes difficult as well. Here in the UK, you can't smoke indoors, like anywhere. It's against the law. Well, you can in your house, obviously, but no establishment allows you to smoke indoors. So you wouldn't be able to have cannabis coffee shops the way they do in Amsterdam. I'm sure there's some loopholes you could find, but it would be very difficult. Damn. Edibles are a huge felony. Wow, I didn't know that. I suppose it depends. Well, in the States, a felony is a federal crime, isn't it, right? But yeah, I think so. So it's still federally illegal. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, things are changing. Things are evolving. It's interesting to see it happen. You know, so let me know again, everybody. Let me know in the comments. Would you try one of these cannabis drinks? Have you tried one? Did you enjoy it? What do you think of Seth Rogen? Is he a cool guy? Do you have no strong feelings either way, or do you think he's a bit of a narcissist? But I think all actors are a bit of a narcissist. You can't hold that against him, you know. But yeah, interesting story. We'll be back on Thursday for another one, same time at 4:20 UK time, and then on the same channel here. Keep an eye out for links. And if you want me to talk about a particular story on Thursday, then just send me a link in the Discord. That should be linked in the description down below. You just head over to the Discord and join us. But we have an interview later on. We should have an interview. I'm just waiting for confirmation with the guest here. And it's going to be Trevor from the Reefer Madness podcast, who was on the podcast way back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, one of our early guests when back in the COVID days. Them guys are on the show. So they're going to be coming back and chatting to us to see how things have been going over the last few years. So if you're a Patreon, come and join us then. That's at 9 p.m. UK time, the usual show time. So if you are free and you're a Patreon, you can find the links in the VIP section on Percy'sGrowroom.com or the VIP section on the Discord server. So we'll see you then. But I think that's it for now. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of the series. We're still working some things out, some bugs here and there, but I think we'll get everything down within the next few episodes. And yeah, Marcus Perez says, loving the 420 news. Nice one, bro. And I say on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well, but on Saturday I was itching to do an episode. You know what I mean? So you can expect minimum Tuesday and Thursday. There might be one tomorrow. I don't know. There might be one on Friday. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. And if some big news pops out, like, oh man, big cannabis news here on Friday, then I'll be like, I fucking gotta fire up a stream for 15 minutes, ain't I? You know what I'm saying? But this is only supposed to be 10-15 minutes of a stream, and I've been here for 20 minutes now, so it's getting a bit long. I will leave it at that, and thank you all again for coming to join me. I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and join me for the next one on Thursday. Stay high, stay safe, and I'll see you then.